Hello and welcome to Just Us Thinking. I'm your host, Michael.
And I'm your co-host, Rebecca.
And I'm your AV guy, Mikey.
And today we're having a special guest.
We do. We have a very special guest. She's from one of the podcasts that we listen to often, so it's kind of exciting to have her on here.
All right, so we have Liz from Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Yes, we do. Hi, Liz.
Hi. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah.
We are glad to have you. We make trips back and forth from Lincoln, and we'll have you on and listen to you as we go through.
Oh, yeah. Yep. We listen to you guys in the car.
Oh, you poor things.
She can't go anywhere. I trap her.
No, I actually really like listening to you guys' stories. It's been very interesting. So I was just listening to the one about the twins that you had on.
Oh.
I think Jennifer and June. So that was fun. I like it.
Oh, thank you guys.
All right, so so you're on episode 34 for Ouch, Was That a Ghost?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I honestly didn't even know that.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does.
I like what you guys have to say. I do like your stories. Because all the places now here's my problem when I listen to you guys. I want to go to those places.
Right.
We love them. We love to go to those places. One of my biggest places I want to go is the Waverly.
Yeah, the Waverly Sanatorium.
Yep.
Yes.
We were there, but they weren't giving tours at the time. So I was like, we had to leave Kentucky very, very upset.
Yes, we did.
Oh.
But we have family in the area, so it's like we're planning that next better. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's good.
Now, we also have the Villisca's Axe Murder House, and we've been there a couple times.
How was that?
Amazing. I loved
Did
it.
you experience anything?
You know, you hear a little bit of noise. You hear some things that go on. Unfortunately, I think that's where Rebecca gets a little salty. Is she doesn't? We go to all these haunted places, and everybody has experiences, but her.
Yep.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it makes me so mad because I'm like, I just want to see something or hear something just a couple times and I'd be happy.
Until it happens, and you'll be like, no, stop.
Yeah.
That's probably true. So now let's figure out who's a believer here. So now we'll start with Rebecca. Rebecca, are you a believer in ghosts?
It's kind of hard to say because I've never experienced anything, but I do, my mind tells me that there's got to be something, on a different plane that's maybe, around us. So
okay.
I figured there's got to be something, but I just never seen or heard anything. So yeah.
Liss, are you a believer?
I have a strange answer because I believe, but I'm also very skeptical at the same time.
I don't think that's
That makes sense.
I don't think that's a strange answer at all. I think that's actually a pretty good answer.
That is pretty good. Yeah. I couldn't have said it any better. So good job.
So now here's kind of the statistics, and I've kind of looked at who believes in ghosts and who don't. Roughly about the middle ground is about 45% of the U.S. population believes in ghosts.
Oh, that's a lot, actually. That's higher than I thought.
The scale is kind of weird. It goes the low end is like 41% and the high end is 57%. I think the median I saw was right around 42 to 45.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, it's the same as right around the same for aliens too. I wonder if those are the same people.
They might be.
So it could be. Now, I think in your stories list, I think a lot of your stories cover both active and residual hauntings. Now, I think that's true, right?
Yes, I've had them, and I've had some stories with both and some that only have one or the other.
Oh, okay.
So can a place have both?
Yes, at Villisca, they have the man that constantly walks down and up the stairs, and then the children.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was a residual. I always thought it was an active or an intelligent haunting, as I don't know, whatever word they use there.
I think the man that goes in the loop doesn't really acknowledge anybody.
And that's the murderer, right? I think that's the guy is the murderer, so maybe he's good in a loop.
Yeah, we don't want him out of the loop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's keep him in the loop where he doesn't mess with anybody. That's kind of crazy. So, what is your favorite story on your show?
My favorite story,
Yeah.
surprisingly, it's one of our least listened to, is Dyatlov.
Really?
Which
Because
one?
it's Dyatlov Pass. It was
Okay.
about the hikers.
Oh, okay.
And just because it's so unexplained, do you remember that one at all? When they went hiking and then all the people just were found and they were all,
Yeah,
some say,
I remember a little bit about it. I'm going to have to go back and listen to it now.
Yeah, I have
But-
the worst memory.
basically they were found all deceased. Some had radiation on them. Some of them had their eyes out. Some of them like had fingers bit off or their tongue bit off. And people tried to say it was like a landslide that happened.
Oh, wow.
But like that doesn't make any sense because where would the radiation come from? And why would you just take some eyes out and then leave other ones and they weren't found elsewhere? And it's just the strangest case.
I'm going to have to go back and research that one because that
Yeah.
one sounds so... That one's in Russia, right?
Yes, but that's our probably least listened to episode. But I think I worked the hardest on that one, and I just enjoyed it the most.
Okay. That's I'm going to have to go back and listen to it. So that is kind of a story right up my alley. Those are the stories I kind of like. So now I know with evidence that goes around, there's not really a whole lot of evidence. In fact, you were talking about it in your last episode, the hoaxes that go around. Mm-hmm. I really think that people, I think, ruin, if there's ghosts around, they kind of ruin it for everybody else.
I agree. A lot of psychics, if people believe in that or if that's true, then a lot of people ruin it by doing that. And ghosts doing all the hoaxes too, whether for fame or for, I don't know, for money.
Yeah, because it almost seems like there's a for-profit for ghosts, right?
Yes. A lot of like haunted houses will become an attraction after, or
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
they had one in Omaha recently. What was it?
Well, it was supposedly a real haunted house.
Yeah, and they just demolished it.
They turned it into a jump scare Halloween attraction, and they finally tore it down. So it was kind of one of those things. I guess my problem with the ghosts and for all of that is with the stuff that's coming out with CGI and all the AI that could do all the sounding. It's kind of crazy what they can do with that, and I think that's going to make it harder to try to prove ghosts exist, don't you think?
yes, because even now there's a lot of, I guess you could say, ambiguous photo or video evidence.
Oh
So
yeah,
you can't quite tell if it's true or not.
they've been trying to fake it for a long time, like the psychic mediums like bumping on the table and pulling strings with their foot.
Yeah, that's wow. So Liz, I had a question for you too. So like how did you get started, or like how do you find your stories?
How do I find my stories?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's through a movie and I'll see something and then I'll look further into that. And usually it's in Google somewhere. I just go down a rabbit hole.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool. Like, have you visited any of these places like around the U.S. that you've seen or researched?
Yeah, when we did, well, I have the Bridgewater Triangle, which I'm working on now, and I've gone to a few different places, taken pictures. I'm planning on going to the Hockomock Swamp when it warms up in a few weeks to finish up the Bridgewater Triangle.
Oh, cool.
But it's way too cold right now.
Yeah.
To go out there and hike around. I'm a baby.
Yeah,
But
no.
we've gone to like the Lizzie Borden Museum. We did all the Plymouth tours, and I have a Plymouth one written that I haven't done yet. And we went to the Liberty Hall in New Jersey recently, and I have a story about that coming out soon.
Yeah, see, Liz. You're on the East Coast, and I've had very limited travel to the East Coast, and those are like all the hot spots that I want to go because the Lizzie Borden Museum is like one of the favorite places I want to go.
Yeah, it's such a bizarre house. The setup when you go, you're going to be shocked at what it looks like inside. It's going to be nothing like you expect.
You know, I had to say the same thing with the Villisca's axe murder house. I remember doing the research when I was in California, and when I actually went to visit it, it's a lot smaller than we thought. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't quite sure. You know, it was just kind of weird. So now I know
Did it
with...
give you...
Go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, did it give you a bad vibe when you walked in?
Yeah, you know, you get a bad vibe when you went through. You kind of just get that like eerie, creepy vibe.
Especially in the kids' room. That was the one that I was like, ooh. I'm like, it just kind of like made the hair on my arm stand up a little bit. I was like, ugh, creepy.
So heartbreaking.
Yeah. I mean, it's so crazy in that they just never caught whoever did it.
So now that leads me to my biggest question here is, did the hair stand up on your arm because you felt a creepy from that, or because you knew what happened there?
It just kind of felt like almost a little bit like being watched, but it was just kind of, I mean, it was definitely creepy. Like, just, yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
Well, Liz, I think with you looking at the stories and you doing a lot of research on here, you probably get that same answer a lot, don't you?
The same answer about...
As far as it being kind of
out?
creeped out and, you know, just that feeling of being watched, right?
Yes, I am. It's so terrible because I am such a skeptic in everything in life. That's how just I live my life. So at any places like this, I always factor in that it could be mold or fungus in there.
Yeah.
See, I think you're the perfect person to be doing that kind of podcast because you have that sense of, I don't want to just believe just because some guy told me that I'm not going to believe it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool, I don't know, I kind of like that. I kind of like that approach. I hate those where they start, you know, like, oh, we're going to find the ghost and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you just got there, buddy.
Yeah.
So did you watch any, like, the ghost shows or anything like that?
Do I watch any ghost shows?
Yeah, like, I remember it was, like, there was a couple of them, Ghost Hunters and a few back in the day.
Yeah, like the paranormal shows.
Yeah.
I watch some. Some of them I can't really deal with because they're kind of obnoxious hosts, but...
Yeah.
Because some go in and they're very disrespectful, and if there are spirits there, they were people, and a lot of them go in really disrespectful, and I can't watch those. They irritate me too much.
Yeah.
But some of them I do enjoy watching.
Oh, that's that kind of an interesting take, too. I never even thought about that. It is kind of disrespectful to go into someone else's house and do that.
Yeah, that is true. Wow.
I mean, to try to speak to them, but if they're like, get out, and you're just like, nope, I'm going to stay here anyway.
Yeah.
If a ghost tells me to leave, I'm like, bye.
Right?
Yeah, I never understood that. If I walked into a house and some disembodied voice started telling me to get out, I'm not going to question it.
Nope.
I'm just gone. Bye.
Bye.
It was
And you would survive a horror movie then.
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I know not to run upstairs
Yeah. Yep.
or hide in the basement, right?
I never understood that. I'd go directly out a window or out a door. I would not go up or down.
Yep.
Well, and they always seem to like run into places that are like non-crowded. I would find Grand Central Station. That if I was close to it, that's where I'm headed. Where the most people are going to be.
Yeah.
Although that place is supposed to be haunted too, isn't it?
Oh, I bet. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I heard
mean,
that's supposed to be like a really like hush hush secret haunted place.
Oh, wow.
Same with the Statue of Liberty, Ellis Island.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
Oh yeah,
That would make sense. Now, have you ever done like one of those overnight stays in like a supposedly haunted place?
I have not yet.
No?
I want to. I was going to do a bunch with Lee, but she had the baby, and it was just kind of tough. But,
Oh, yeah. Aw. I know.
yeah, I have a few. I have a few good ones planned in the next few months that I'll be putting on the podcast.
Oh, cool. Can't wait to hear about your experience. We thought
I'll either
about
be
doing the Alaska house, and then we just never got around to it. So
We had to book it 6 months in advance. It's crazy.
yeah.
Wow.
So now I've always had pets. You don't have any pets, do you?
I do. I'm a cat lady.
Okay. Well, they say
Sorry?
cats are like half in, half out of the world anyway, right? No, I've got 2 cats. In fact, I think my cat heard you say there was a cat, so she came meowing. And then we have 2 dogs. Now, have you ever seen your cat like stare at something that wasn't there?
Yes, I have one corner in my basement that I definitely know has something in it. So my cats always, more at night, stare over there in the corner.
That's creepy, isn't it?
Well, it's not a bad energy though. Like whatever's here it just feels like an older lady that's just nice.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, well, that's I guess that's comforting to a certain point, but it's also, I don't know how, so are you comfortable with it there?
Yeah, I feel totally comfortable.
Now, what would you do if she talked to you?
Then things might change.
They're fine if they stay there late, right?
Yes. The communication, I don't know about. If it was somewhere else, I'd probably be okay with it, but just knowing it's in my house might be a different story.
Yeah, I'm the same way. And I remember hearing stories of like a little kid being in our house that I guess as a kid I used to play with as well. And I guess that's like kids always had like an imaginary friend. What if that's a kid ghost that's playing with another kid?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that
Yeah,
crazy?
That would be crazy.
And then
Yeah.
as you grow up, you kind of lose that, that touch with that world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say babies have a strong connection with the other realm, I guess you'd say, as well.
Yeah, see, and that's where it kind of almost leads me into believing more of a reincarnation kind of deal than anything else. So if there's, once you leave your body, you could be a ghost for a while, cruise around, and then I got a few people I'll haunt. I'm good with that. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Now, if I was a ghost, I also don't want anybody to know that I'm a ghost either. I want to kind of drive them a little crazy for that. I mean, that'd be fun.
A prankster ghost, huh?
Yeah, I'd be a prankster ghost.
He would.
What kind of ghost do you think you would be, Liss?
Oh, I'd be doing that all day.
Yep.
I'd be messing with everybody constantly.
See, I'm the same way. Moving objects just a little bit just to make them think,
Yes.
wait a minute.
Just enough to gaslight them.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Find one of your friends with OCD and really mess with them.
Yes, move all the Post-it notes, just, an eighth of an inch that way.
Yep. Go around their house and just make the pictures off just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mikey's shocked that I would do this. It's hilarious.
Y'all are evil for that one.
Here's the thing. Here's what nobody thinks. What if that's already happening? If we're going to do it here, we're talking about doing it. What if they're already doing that? What if there's already ghosts doing that? How many times you walked into a place and you're like, that picture way up there, they didn't hang it that way, but it's crooked.
Either that or they're misplacing my keys because I can never find my keys.
Or my other sock in the dryer. That's what they're doing at my house.
Yep.
I thought elves stole your socks. Isn't elves supposed to steal socks? Oh no, if you give them a sock, they're free.
Oh, okay.
No, that's Dobby.
I don't know. I think it would be kind of a cool. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to be a ghost, and then once you're done, playing around or something, you go get into a new body, and as you grow old, and as you grow up, or as you get accustomed to that new body that you're in, you start to lose what you've had before.
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be.
So you're looking at it almost like a Buddhist thing, like you're going from body to reincarnated into a different body or a different.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could be in
creature.
a different body, different creature. I think I do agree with the Buddhism as far as if you're good in your life, you get to pick your next life. If you're bad, you come back as a dung beetle.
Don't they have a level that's a spirit as well?
Yeah, I think once you reach enlightenment, you could move on.
No.
And I think there's like...
No, but before moving on, I think there's a ghost level.
Oh, there is probably. Yeah, you know what? You are right. There is like kind of a ghost level there. When the Dalai Lama's supposed to reincarnate every time he dies, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We're not sure if he's going to be able to reincarnate because China banned reincarnation. Like they have control over that, but...
Yeah, it's strange that every single religion seems to have ghosts in it at some level.
Yeah, including Christianity and everything else. I mean, I remember now they try to go away from it now, but is the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, or the Holy Ghost?
I think it's Holy Spirit.
It's Holy Spirit now, but I remember a version of it being Holy Ghost.
Oh.
So,
I remember that too growing up. I went into a Catholic wedding not too long ago, and also they've all changed those answers that you give back.
Right.
So I was lost because I haven't.
Well, if you haven't been for a while, they went through a little bit of a change, so that does happen, which isn't too bad. So.
Yeah, I remember that too, but it totally threw me off. Like after not going to church for a while, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what?"
Wait, did I misremember or did it change?
I was like, it's so natural, but then I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, you changed it on me.
That's how you know the old school people and the new school people.
Exactly. Yep.
So I don't know. I believe. I mean, every religion, you're right, has a story about ghosts.
Yeah.
Now,
and historically and culturally, they have it throughout. Like even in Egyptians, they had carvings of things that look like ghosts, and folklore and mythology. Like it's been around for so long.
Yeah.
That it's hard to say, oh no, it's just not there at the end. Like a lot of people just don't believe. It's strange to me to just dismiss it.
I agree with you. That's why I don't just dismiss it, but I'm also skeptical on one side. Now, people hoax ghost stories all the time. Now, I know a lot of them could go for profit and attention and stuff like that. But a lot of people don't talk about the other type of hoax.
What's the other type of hoax?
The other type of hoax would be, have you ever experienced something and then you're so determined to prove that happened to you that you kind of get carried away with it? It happened to you, no one believes you, so you then kind of take a twisted campaign on trying to prove it happened, and you find yourself down that same hoax rabbit hole.
I don't think I have.
Yeah, there's actually a couple people that were accused of hoaxing it, and later on said, "Well, I just wanted people to believe me."
Oh wow!
Isn't that kind of crazy?
Yeah.
I guess that's what people want, like validation.
Yeah, that's true.
To that, I think some people, I don't know how to say this. Like if you want to see something bad enough, you almost will it into existence, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that's
like
a whole nother ball game too, isn't it?
Like
that's true.
What is that called? It's I'm probably saying this wrong. Pareidolia? I can't remember the word. But when you look at something and your brain kind of forms it, it's almost like when you see the almost full square, but your brain closes it.
Yep.
So in the middle of the night, you can look at a chair and you can think you see a face, because your brain needs to complete the picture.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like if you think that this house is haunted, you may look at a chair and be like, "Oh, I see the ghost."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the same thing that we see. That's the same effect that we see in clouds and ink blots.
Okay.
Yes. I can't think of the name of it, though.
I can't either.
I know it starts with a P. That's all I know.
But you're 100% right. Now, there's also another effect that happens where most of the time what we see as humans, our brain only collects so much of that data, and it basically fills in the rest of the information. So that's where you'll hear stories about someone says, "Oh, well, I saw my pet running around." Well, in your mind, you've seen your pet run that path or in that house all the time. So if your brain goes on autopilot and you kind of glance over and your brain accidentally pulls one of those old memories with your pet dog running around the room or your cat running around the room, it can fill that in, and all of a sudden now you saw your cat, and because it creates an issue in your brain, it makes you wonder. See, Rebecca didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I think I think we kind of believe in reincarnation a little bit because now Rebecca had a puppy named Beaches,
Right.
and Beaches passed away sadly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then we got Sadie.
Yeah.
By I don't know how we managed to get Sadie. It was all dumb luck.
Yeah, because you were looking for the German Shepherd puppies.
Right.
And that turned out to be a scam.
Right.
And I just happened to pull her picture up on Craigslist, and I was like, oh, yeah. And I was like, let's go get her.
Now, Sadie is almost her mannerisms, and she acts just like Beaches used to do.
Yep. She even has
Aw.
that same kind of like look in her eye, like when she looks at me. Like, I don't know if it's just because of her eye color, but yeah, I mean, she just like, it just reminds, it's like I'm looking at Beaches, but then I'm like, oh no, I'm like, it's Sadie. I have to like catch myself, I'm like, ugh. I've almost called her Beaches a few times, so I'm like, oh, sorry, Sadie.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's just like carefree. She's like, yeah, whatever, I'm good.
I hear that a lot from pet owners as far as when a pet passes away, they almost feel the pet still there.
Yeah.
And then and then their next pet is generally really close to the other pet that they had. So, I don't know. I think I believe more in pet ghosts than I do people ghosts.
Yeah.
I want a pet ghost. I want a cat ghost.
You don't even have to feed them. It's great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Rebecca, I gotta go crazy sometimes, so she kind of says I'm crazy. But no, I think I don't know. It's hard to believe if there's ghosts or not. You know what? You're right. There's too many stories out there of ghosts in history
And personal experiences. Like, you can walk into any party, any room that has at least 3 people in there, and most likely one of them is going to have some kind of personal experience of, smelling grandma's perfume, seeing an orb, seeing an apparition, disembodied voice, footsteps, something.
And it makes sense because if you pass away and you're kind of your energy has to go somewhere, right?
I would think so.
Yes, wasn't it? Oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank today. Einstein. He was saying that all energy is constant, and he was one of the ones that a lot of people refer to when they talk about ghosts, because they say that your energy can't be destroyed and it can't be created. It has to go somewhere. So it has to either go into something else or create negative energy, a ghost.
Well, now I don't think all ghosts are negative energy, though.
No, I don't think so either. But I feel like that was what his quote was. I could be off.
Well, if it came from Einstein, that's a pretty good source.
Yeah.
I really didn't realize. Yeah, he's right though. Energy has to go somewhere, right? Energy goes from one to another.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then if you're a ghost, you have that energy. We know that Tesla proved electricity, which is energy, can survive just in the air with the Tesla coils and everything that he was doing. Mm-hmm. So he was broadcasting electricity, which is energy. What happens when we don't need our bodies anymore? And then we decide, okay, well, our energy dissipates from the body, but it goes, somewhere else.
I never thought about it that way either. That's interesting.
Now the sun is energy.
Yeah.
So what happens when you no longer need your body and your energy is out in the world? Maybe the sun is what charges us. It happens with solar panels. Why can't a person be kind of an afterlife solar battery. Sorry, I go on some weird tangents sometimes. Sorry, Liss, you're learning this from the get go. So now you had a couple other special guests on your show. I know is it Cryptid? What's the other podcast that?
Oh, Cryptid, Creeps, and Conspiracies.
Yep. So I like them too. She's pretty good. She's fun to listen to as well.
Yeah, Natasha is amazing. She loves cryptids as much as I do, so I like having her because she'll go dissecting the creatures all the way down. She's all about, like, I don't know if you listen to Snallygaster, but she'll, like, talk about his teeth, his eyes, his this.
Yeah, see, we're kind of on our cryptid as well. We were kind of going over the last episode was, like, Bigfoot and giants.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we were kind of on the fence on Bigfoot still. We're pretty sure that doesn't. The giants, I think we said no giants.
Yeah.
They're too big.
Yeah.
I try to steer away from religion, but the Bible talks about so many giants and so many bones have been found. Some have been debunked, some haven't.
Yeah, and I think they might have existed back in the day, but I don't think the big mythical, 40-foot giant could exist today without being found.
Yeah.
Wasn't that something on TikTok recently when they said like a rock opened up and someone went in there?
Yeah, and I was watching that. That's actually what sparked the giant episode because I watched that video, and people tried to go knock on the door.
Oh, I didn't see that. Did
and I'm like,
answer?
No one answered. And they're like, it's because it's too thick. He can't hear us. And I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, why would you want him to answer?
Should have left like a FedEx tag. Right,
something. You don't want that. I mean, you might be food for him. You don't know.
Yeah.
Dinner is served. That gives DoorDash a whole new meaning.
Yes.
So now we just completed our episode on dragons. So we were talking about dragons existing too.
Oh.
So pterodactyls existed.
To that.
Yeah, pterodactyls existed, and why wouldn't they? So I don't know. We're on a fence on a lot of things. I think the ghost. I don't know if I was a ghost, I wouldn't let anybody know I was a ghost. I'll be honest. I would like that. I would like them wondering as well.
I would too, definitely.
But there's so many theories. Are they on a plane where they can't reach over? Is that the issue? Because think about how many people have died versus how many people are alive. Every house would be packed to the brim with ghosts. And you only hear of, a few ghosts here and there.
Right. Well, maybe.
But on the other hand,
maybe they could only touch. Maybe only a few could kind of touch across the realm, and that's why you kind of get glimpses like you do.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't explain. That doesn't explain the residual that are time stamped in that loop.
Unless the trauma just like leaves them there, like not trauma on them, but trauma that they cause.
Oh, that's a good idea. Now here, we don't like to bring up religion very often either, but can you imagine what if that's hell? What if your hell is being trapped in this loop of doing the same thing over and over again for the rest of eternity?
Yeah, that does sound pretty bad.
It's kind of hard to not bring up religion in this, but I usually, like I said, I never bring them up in my episodes if I can help it. But in this, that's pretty much what every religion is, whether Wiccan, whether Buddhism, most of it, in Christianity, everything is what happens after you die.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a great mystery.
Yeah. So that's another thing. Do people say that they see ghosts as like a... I'm probably using the wrong words today. I can't think. Like a confirmation bias almost. Like it's your mind's creating this as a way to get comfort, if that makes sense.
No, I agree with that. It's like a paradox.
Like you're scared of ghosts, but it's not as scary as going into nothing, just sitting in a box and rotting.
Yeah. I want to say the reason we believe in religion is because we want to somehow continue our life. Mm-hmm. So that's why we if we created the afterlife, whether it really exists, The biggest joke on this, though, is you don't get to find out until you're knocking on that door.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of one of those things. It's like, and it very well could be some people that were, got to the other side. They're trying to reach out and saying, hey, it exists over here. And maybe they're trying to tell loved ones that, hey, there is an afterlife after that. We just don't know.
And I feel like that a lot of people, right after they pass, that's when a lot of people claim to have encounters with the other side.
Yeah,
If you understand what I mean?
That's true. Now, the problem with that is grief and your mind can play all kinds of tricks on you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost built in to make you crazy. I mean, because someone passes away and you're like, oh no, I felt them, I saw them. Well, is that your mind trying to rationale that they passed away? Or is that them actually coming back? And you just can't know. I think that's why it's frustrating for me. This subject's a little frustrating for me because I want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for every pro, you can name a con.
I know, and
there's no evening.
I know. It's like
one,
that scale balances every time for me, and it drives me nuts because it shouldn't balance. I want to know one way or the other. I don't know. It's crazy. It frustrates me to know that. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Mm-hmm. So, you got something, Rebecca?
No, I was just pondering, thinking.
Pondering. So, Mikey, what is your what do you think about ghosts?
I think they exist.
You do. You're like a solid believer then.
I do believe that they do exist. Part of this might be because I did have a experience, but I feel like they do exist.
Oh, you got to tell us your experience now.
I don't remember where it was, but remember the town that we went to?
Oh, yeah, okay.
And in Malvern?
Yes.
No. Was it Malvern or the 1880 town?
It was the 1880 town. It was the town because they had the film crew there.
Oh, okay.
And I walked into the house that they specifically told us was haunted. I was the first one to go in there, and I basically hear like creaking of the floorboards, like somebody's running in there, and they had a back door, and I see the back door pop open. Like it didn't like fly open, it just like popped open. And I ran out like screaming.
He would also survive a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, who's in the house? And we're like, we're all by ourselves. So, yeah, that was...
Yeah, that was... here's the thing. I think for you to be a believer in this, I think what it's going to come down to is you can't really present someone else with evidence on whether ghosts exist or not. You're either a believer or you're not, and you're not a believer until something major happens to you. Mm-hmm. What do you think, Liz?
No, I do agree. I've experienced things before, but I don't know if it's residual energy or if it's just like an aura left there. Like I just don't know quite what it is.
Yeah, and I've experienced some things as well, but I don't know. It's Mikey's a hard believer, and I think that's where something happens. But if you're trying to explain this to a skeptic, whether ghosts exist or not, they're so set in their opinion that they could balance that scale every time, just like I do.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
But even experiencing things, there are always, even if you see something, there's just say you were taking cold medicine or in Dyatlov can be caused by weather, animals, wind turbines, traffic, and that alone can change your heart rate, cause anxiety. It can cause hallucinations when it goes below, what is it? I want to say 18 hertz.
Yeah, there's a sound barrier there that causes paranoia and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and it causes vibration, so you could look at a chair and the chair would be vibrating in your mind. Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. So it's, I don't know. I I have to say, for my ghost story here, I think I'm going to have to weigh on the fence of I have a little bit of belief, but I'm still skeptical. So I have to agree with you 100%, Liss.
Yeah.
I'm still on the fence.
Me too.
Now, that doesn't mean I don't love hearing the stories. I love hearing the stories.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I like the way you I love the way you tell your stories on your show. You do pretty good. I think Haley, who you just had on the show, I don't know. I think if you go with not having a co-host on your show, and you just kind of keep going with like guest hosts on there, I think that's actually I think it works for you.
Yeah, it seems like you're doing really good. It got a lot of listeners, and you have really good stories. So keep them coming.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for thanks for being on our show. We appreciate it. Now, what podcast players are you on?
I'm on I don't even know. I'm on a list of them. Pretty much everyone.
Yeah, so I think you're the same as us. If it's a podcast player, you're on there.
Okay.
I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't done any videos yet.
Okay.
Okay.
Those would be kind of cool. Hopefully, those will be coming soon.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're also on Facebook, so you can see Ouch, Was That a Ghost on Facebook. So definitely go over to her page, like, subscribe.
And follow.
And definitely follow, yeah. So, no, I want to say thank you for coming on our show. We appreciate it. We look forward to hearing more about your shows.
We do.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me.
All right. So it was nice to have Liss from Ouch, Was That a Ghost on here. That was kind of nice.
It was. I mean, like I said, I love listening to her. I know she used to have another partner on it.
Yeah,
and it's just her now.
Yeah, just her. Her partner has personal things that came up.
Yeah.
I hate to get in other people's businesses, so I'll leave it at that.
But I loved the two of them. I love her by herself, so it's just I love the stories.
I just like the way she tells stories. I really like that about her. She always has a guest, and her interaction with the guests are always like, I don't know. I wish I had. I hope to be that. I hope my guests think I'm that entertaining.
Yeah, you are.
Am I? Okay. Yeah. I really like the way she does it. I'm like, she's just, you could tell.
Yeah.
So she's definitely my kind of people. So, Ghosts. Let's wrap her up here. So for Ghosts, are you a believer or not a believer?
I'm a skeptic.
You're a skeptic, okay. Mikey is a believer. He already said that.
Yes.
I'm a believing skeptic. I think she said it best. I think I have to agree with her 100%.
Yeah, she did say it really good.
So yeah. Now, hopefully we'll have her on again. We can talk some other stuff. Now, this was our first. She was our first guest that we did a remote call-in on.
That is correct.
So I'm hoping that everything came out okay.
I hope so too.
So Mikey's going to do the background on that to see where that is. So that was our first remote. So it was kind of special there.
Yeah.
I was kind of saving that for someone special. So that's either going to work out pretty good or not. So
hopefully it works out good.
Yeah. So now make sure that and I'm going to plug us both. For both Just Us Thinking and for Ouch, Was That a Ghost? I know we're both on Facebook.
Right.
Just Us Thinking is also on Instagram and X. You could probably look for Ouch, Was That a Ghost on Instagram or X. She might be on there.
Yeah. You can also find us on iHeart. I know she is on Spotify. We're on Google, Apple, Amazon, and Samsung.
And Google, I heard just recently Google Podcasts will be switching over. You're going to start finding us on, instead of Google Podcasts, it's going over to YouTube Music.
Oh.
So you could listen to us on YouTube Music.
Cool.
As well as the regular YouTube.
Okay.
And Rumble, and we're also on TikTok.
Yeah, so whatever your favorite player is, be sure to like us or follow us.
Make sure you give some love to Ouch Was That a Ghost. She works really hard with what she does.
She does, and she's so... You can just hear it in her voice that she's passionate about it.
Yeah, and that's what I like. I like to hear passion out of people. It's that effort.
Right.
So I'm definitely going to be a long time listener. I'm going to keep asking. I'm going to keep seeing what they're doing over there. So
sounds good.
But I think that will be our show.
Alrighty, bye everybody.